Facing down 1 metre surf might not sound like a huge amount to surfers, but for a Hobie Island, this is massive surf. So I attempted to do a launch with tramps on, a couple of kids, which means I have to get out between the sets and then use the Mirage Drive to pedal my way out. Unfortunately, the Mirage Drive jammed and I got caught in the sets of surf. One of the kids got washed overboard, which wasn't a problem. He's a really strong swimmer and wearing a life jacket. And I just had to let the surf carry me back into the shoreline. Unfortunately, my Mirage Drive, drained in place, smashed into the bottom, got bashed down quite a few times, and was damaged. So when we pulled it out from the boat, it was very bent. Not good. Bent Mirage Drive means no propulsion through the surf. Can't paddle because of the trampoline, so that was the end of the sailing day, unfortunately. Kids were disappointed. So, bent my Mirage Drive. As you can see, those fins are well and truly both bent to the side. Done this many times before though. I'm sure I can fix that. So the first part of this job is I've got to remove these turbo fins. So there's a little keyring type thing here which you take off. Let's pull these off. So next step is to flip the drive over and remove the 2 retaining pins that are held in place by the little key rings. Because the shaft is bent, the turbo fins are a bit tricky to pull off. Just have to work them down. Inspect the fin for damage, make sure there's no holes in it and it's still straight. If they get too damaged, they need to be replaced. So now inspecting the Mirage Drive for damage. The shafts are bent, but there doesn't appear to be any damage further up, which is important. If components are damaged, again, they have to be replaced. It just looks like bent rods, so I should be able to straighten them in the vise. Jamming the rods between a couple of blocks of wood so they don't get scratched up or damaged by the metal sides of the vise. The wood's quite good for clamping them in. I try and clamp them just at the point where it's bent, so when I bend the rod straight, it'll bend at the point where it bent originally. Once it's clamped in, I align the Mirage Drive directly against the angle of the bend and then just apply pressure and push it until it looks like it's coming straight. Not pushing too hard because I don't want to break it, just applying steady pressure. I need to use my whole body to do it. The other thing is the pedals always try to move, so you've got to brace the pedals as you're pushing down. Now it's looking like it's pretty straight, so I pull it out to give it a bit of a check. But I can see in this particular case there's a second bend in the drive, so further down there's a bend, so I'm going to reclamp the rod further down and try and straighten that bend out. Okay, it's looking a lot closer now, but still not quite straight. There's just a subtle sort of bend in the rod, which I won't be able to fix with the vise. So for subtle bends like that, I find just going straight over the thigh seems to work and give it a bit of a push. The front rod's all good. Now to do the rear one, I just reclamp the Mirage Drive in the vise and same procedure as before. And there we go, 2 straight drive rods. Okay, so these rods are now pretty much straight from bending them around in the vise. Not perfect, but they're pretty close.
and ready to put the turbo fins back on.
Now I've just got to put the whole assembly back together, put the turbo fins on, put in the retaining pin at the back of the turbo fin to hold it in place. Flip the Mirage drive over and put on the little keyring to lock the retaining pin so it can't fall out. Then we simply repeat the process for the rear turbo fin. These little key rings are an absolute pain in the butt to get on. Now a final function check. All looking good. Job's done. One fixed Mirage drive. Right place. So if you like my content, please don't sit there like a rubberneck. Like, subscribe, comment. These things keep me motivated to keep making these videos. My channel has a variety of adventure content, sailing, camping, flying, all sorts of stuff. Check out a few of these examples and there'll be more Hobie videos to follow. And for you guys that do hit the like button and subscribe, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.